Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special meet, which is called Meet Me at Yep, a series that we have started. Here we would have Swamijis who would be teaching at Yep, who will actually will also be telling us about their experience with Gurudev and why YEP is also important. So both the things. I'm very happy. I'm privileged to introduce Swami Shantaranji, who is the resident Swamiji of Chennai Mission, New Jersey, and the tri-state area as well. And it's a great pleasure to have you, Swamiji, to for us to know more about your interactions with Gurudev, as well as also to know why do you think that people should actually, the youth of today should actually join this year, starting this year. We're coming back after a long break. So it would be interesting to know your perspective on that. Interviewing him today and asking some interesting questions would be Brahmachari Hari Chaitanya, who is also the resident Swami of Chimma Mission, Dallas, Fort Worth area. So on to you, Hariji. Take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhilji. And I would say I'm brahmachari, not all the way yet. Brahmachari. Samasta jana kalyani niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram. Thank you so much, Puja Swamiji, for joining us. This is a wonderful event to have where hearing Swamiji's perspectives on Puja Gurudev, we gain so much from that. So I'll start right off, Swamiji, with the first question. When it comes to our connection with Gurudev, his Ashtottara Shatanamavalihi is one of those ways we feel that connection so strongly. Those Saguna Lakshanas of him that we see there, those Nirguna aspects that we can do dhyana on as well are so beneficial. Now, Puja Swamiji has a very special connection in the development of these 108 names. What is the story behind that, Swamiji?
Okay. I used to travel with Gurudev as his traveling secretary. This was back in 76, 80, between 76 and 80. So during that time, one of the yajnas, we were there in Lucknow. At that time, Swamiji Tejomayanji, who was a brahmachari at that time, his name was Vivek Chaitanya. He was also with me. We both were traveling together with Gurudev. So this Lucknow lecture was on 9th chapter. So previous yajnas also was 9th chapter. So we heard 9th chapter once. Second time also listening. So as he said, when Gurudev started giving lecture, Swamiji said, Guruji said, let us go for a walk. So it is a big outside open air lecture. So it's a big compound. So it was fenced actually, surrounding. So we were walking around the fence. And as we were walking, a thought came to us that so far we don't have any Ashtotra written for Gurudev's Pada Puja. Every time we did Pada Puja, we were chanting Guru Stotra. That was it, Archana. While washing the feet and offering that Chandan and Kungum, we used to chant one sloka of the Guru Stotra. So we thought, let us have some Ashtotra for him, which is appropriate to him. So we started writing down. We started from the Vishnu Sahasranama. So started the alphabet order, A, I, E, E, Ajaya Namaha, Avyaya Namaha. So he will say one or two, I will also say one. Like this, by the time Gurudev completed his 1.5 hours lecture, We also completed our 108 names. And the next day when Gurudev's Padapuja was there, Tejamanji chanted this in front of him. And Gurudev generally when people do Padapuja, he closes his eyes and he is in dhyana. But when we chanted this, he opened his eyes and looked at us. Then he just said, He did not say anything, that's all. But then we know it was acknowledged and approved. Then afterwards, somebody from Bombay, they took it up this and publicized it. Then afterwards, it became very popular. That is how it originated. And we are glad that at least we could contribute something to the mission.
It's hear the origin story of a sadhana that we all do so regularly and so earnestly it's mind-blowing, Swamiji. It's incredible. Now, when it comes to Puja Gurudev's life, every part of his life is so awe-inspiring in its magnitude and just how unlikely it is. Now, there are two aspects of his life, though, Swamiji, that whether it's his written works or in his recorded lectures, he never really addresses, to my knowledge, publicly. One aspect is his role in the freedom struggle, jailed, working against the British, all of that. Second aspect is his time learning under Param Guru Pujya Swami Tapovanji Maharaj. So in Pujya Swamiji's interactions with Gurudev, did he ever mention anything about his time in the freedom struggle or in his time learning under Param Guru Tapovanji Maharaj?
No. Only some of the lectures he mentioned, because certain occasion comes or some situation comes, he mentions. Otherwise, when it comes to Tapovanji Maharaj, he is always quiet. He never spoke about him too much. But he can see his devotion to his Guru. I remember when we started Pennsylvania Ashram, Chinmay Kedar, that is where I was posted first. And he came and inaugurated 92, October. So I was there in October. He came November actually. November 30th was inauguration. So when he came, I asked, there was no picture of Gurudev. So I didn't know from where to get the picture. So I just asked Gurudev, I need a picture of Gurudev to keep here. He did not say anything. But he sent me Tapovanji Maharaj picture first. Then again I asked Tapovanji Maharaj, I got Swamiji, what about you? That he said, you find it. He did not give his picture. So that shows his devotion. And also it is so surprising at the same time. It is interesting to see when we started this Vrindavan also, somebody sent me Tapovanji's picture first. Only then Gurudev picture came. So that also his, blessings. So his devotion to his Guru is something that cannot be said in words. That is the idea. So he never spoke, verbalized it much.
And why does Swamiji think he never spoke about his time in the freedom movement? He was Bharata Gauravaya Namaha, of course. So why not, why wouldn't he speak about that aspect of his life?
I don't know about that, because that was one phase of his life. It is Purvashramam. Maybe he doesn't want to think about it because he has already passed that stage. He has come to sannyas. Now he wanted people to be awakened to this spiritual life. He was not thinking about freedom of India, it is already gained. But then at that time, he made one statement that India gained freedom, but not Indians. So this was his vision. Freedom is one thing, that is something, a physical freedom of India. But then Indians, as Bharatiyas, are we free? We are still enslaved by the British thought. That is one thing, because we were not introduced to our ancient scriptures, and the traditional gurus' teachings were completely abolished. And therefore, this thinking, that whole independent thinking, free thinking, was lost. So we are all controlled by the media and publicity and the propaganda that is going on. But our rishis were independent thinkers. That is why they could produce and contribute to the society great scriptures like our Upanishads, Puranas, Itihasas. And not only that, we have scriptures, literature on every subject. So that's why in Indian knowledge system, so IKS, that is what Gurudev's vision was, that is being taken up as a study in our new university, Chinmaya Vidyalaya. And that is what we are trying to do, to revive that, so that the people who are younger generation, they will be able to have an insight into the contribution of our rishis to the society, the humanity, in every field of knowledge. It is not only in spirituality, the material world also, how much they have contributed. Even if you take the management level also, there are Chanakya Sutras, etc., how to rule the country, how to manage economy, and how to administer the what you call what is the governance. All these things are very beautifully given, and those are all who are practicing it, they are finding it good result also. And this is what I think that was the thought of Gurudev, and that was his vision, and therefore he was not much interested in mentioning about the jail yatra or struggle, etc.
These knowledge systems that Swamiji has mentioned from the seed of our Bharatiya Sanskriti, it seems as though in the past few years there's been a revival of it. Not just from a mission standpoint of CVV and the growth, but generally there seems to be more of a fervor for it. What would Pujya Gurudev's assessment be, looking at this situation in 2024, and what would he say is the next step forward for us?
He tried to do that his time in that government level, but he could not succeed at that time of the government situation, because they were all telling, this, our government is secular. In the name of secularity, they did not want any particular religion to be highlighted. That was their idea. And even when Gurudev used to give lectures on a radio talks, you must have seen that book, Man Making. Those were radio talks, one talk transcribed. He could not complete that, because when it comes to 9th chapter, they stopped that program. So that is why because that was objection. We are a secular country, we cannot do that. So Gurudev tried to bring this education system, a revival of educational system in the schools and universities. But at that time, the government did not give permission. Therefore, he started his own schools. So we have Chinmaya Vidyalayas. There he has experimented this, and we have good results. But now the new government, the Modi government, have understood the need of it, and he is working with us now. His the what you call educational ministry branch. They are working with us, and actually Mitrananda has handed over the system, the education system, also our system has handed over to him, and we see how it is going to be adopted in our knowledge system.
Wonderful. Shifting the focus to the West now, Swamiji. Swamiji has been in the Northeast since 92, as Swamiji said. That's more than 30 years now. When those Indians who were born and raised in this country in the 70s and 80s were there, not many other Indians, Hindus around them. So retaining a mother tongue, retaining the Sanskriti, that was difficult for them. And so out of that, this trope of the American-born confused Desi is what arose. That's a pejorative that's used against many of them. We look at those that were born 90s and after in the US, especially in major cities, whether it's kalas like Carnatic Hindustani music and Bharatanatyam dance, whether it's an understanding of religion through organizations like Chinmaya Mission, that cultural awareness is much different than it was for people before, by virtue of more of us being here. Given that that's the case, I think it's safe to say we're not ABCDs anymore. But from Gurudev's vision, what are those challenges and gaps that we still have in 2024 as Hindus growing up in this country specifically?
So that was when he visited, he observed this problem, and that is why he started the Balavihar and study group. And our mission centers are fulfilling that vision. But even then, there seems to be a gap, because after graduating from our system, the 12th grade, when they go to universities, generally the children, maybe there is no continuity, or whatever may be the reason, or they have a new environment or certain peer pressure, whatever, but they are not able to continue that study or the practice. So therefore, there is a gap. We lose most of them. And some places, they are there, some help is there, but not all. So this is, we have to do, it is our duty now to do, to fill the gap. How to manage that gap, we have to know. Maybe in that growing up, like from the first grade onwards to the 12th grade, there is a turning point where at the 7th grade onwards, children start turning towards the independent thinking, and they are influenced by the media and all the Instagram and other things and all the Facebook. So Facebook, I think it's not, children won't do it, Instagram, etc. So those are the things influencing them. And this we have to address at that time. And in our educational system, we should introduce these ideas, what they are getting from outside, and how to defend them. And at the same time, how to not defend them, not to make them as against or for anything, but make them see the fallacy of it. So this is what we will have to do. We have to keep on revising our system. Only then we will improve. And otherwise, what happened? We hold on to the old ideas and dogmas, and that will break the children. It will not be helpful. It is something like when in the Caribbean islands, Trinidad and other islands, where Indians were transported by the British company and dumped there. And there are, I think, every ship, 1 shipload, 2 shiploads were given. So whatever they could get was only Tulsi Ramayanam, and they bought that and they propagated that. For them, that is the only book that is their religion. And whatever tradition they followed at that time, it is talking about 200, 300 years ago, and they maintained that literally. But Hinduism have changed a lot back in India now, but these people are not affected by that. So the same thing will happen to America also. Those generation who migrated to America, and at that time they had certain orthodoxy in their mind. And that orthodoxy, etc., they are still maintaining here in America, which is not necessary, but they follow that. So those things are to be, when children growing up here, they see that, they developed an aversion towards it. So this is also, we have to be very careful when we are giving religious values and teaching. We have to keep in mind the environment in which they are growing up here. And that is to be taken into consideration. Otherwise, we will lose them again. And which is happening now, which is a very sad situation.
So when filling these Hindu identity gaps, Swamiji has mentioned methods in the Balvihar system. What role does the youth empowerment program in America play in filling these same gaps for college students and young professionals?
Very much. Because youth empowerment program was a vision of our Gurudev. And that is the reason why he started this youth wing of Chinmaya Mission, CHIC. That is one reason why. Why? Because the youth, he used to say, youth are not useless, they are used less. And that is true also, because they have tremendous energy. But that energy is to be properly guided. Only then it can be productive and purposeful in life, not only for them, for the society they live in also. So there are tremendous potentials are there, and that is to be tapped and show them that they have that ability so that they will shine. They will be better contributors to the humanity. And this man-making program is the youth empowerment program. And this is a must for all youth, because how to face life, see, when a problem comes, you go to a doctor is a normal thing. But how to avoid doctor, we should know. So to keep you healthy, if you know it, then you don't have to visit a doctor. And these methods are all there, because when you have a mental problem, immediately go to a counselor, and then he will give you some medicine, and then he will hook you onto that medicine for life. This is the method known now in the modern society. But that is not the solution. We have to have a knowledge of how to handle our emotions, how to handle situations, trying situation. And these are the things we have discussed. We discuss in our scriptures, and it is thoroughly given how to handle our mind, how to handle our thoughts, emotions, etc. is all very beautifully analyzed, so that if this knowledge is there, the children growing up here will not have so much of pressure problem, because they have a lot of emotional problems when it comes to in the school or a college, university, when it comes to home. So there are two different atmosphere they face, and they don't know how to compromise that. So therefore, there is a dichotomy, and then somebody will give up, somebody will lose their mind, somebody will take to drugs. All those things are all happening now. So these things, we have to help them. So our system, our rishis have given wonderful teaching to us. This system is available, such a treasure is available. It is our birthright. It is given to us. And if it is sad that it is not shared and it is not made use of, and this was the despair of our Gurudev. That is why he came down from Himalayas to share with us this knowledge. And then if it is not shared and utilized, it is really unfortunate.
In his quest to make that a reality, Swamiji, in 1966 in Mumbai, during the inauguration of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Pujya Gurudev made one interesting quote. He said, abroad, especially in America, other places in the West, there needs to be temple-like facilities where they're teaching this knowledge to the children there who are growing up Hindu. And he said the point is to make them Indian at heart. Even though they're born and raised abroad, make them Indian at heart. Where the connection between Hinduism and India, a lot of the chicks growing up in this country, there is that struggle of not feeling completely Indian, not feeling completely American, and am I not Indian enough to be a true Hindu? That doubt creeps up sometimes. What is the way to resolve this kind of inner conflict?
That is because they are not aware of the depth of Hinduism. So we have to keep them understand the depth of Hinduism. And once they get that depth, so the height of thinking of our rishis, I don't think they have got it. They consider Hinduism only a religious aspect of Hinduism. Certain festivals, certain celebrations, this is what they think it is religion, Hinduism. But Hinduism has got much more depth than what is shown outside. Even those festivals or rituals, if it is explained properly, it has got higher depth also. And if those things are taught to them properly, I don't think they will have any aversion to Hinduism. They will develop admiration. So it has to be. That is why our Gurudev used to say that temples now, what happens is it's only a rituals place. And the Panditji also doesn't know how to explain the rituals. The children growing up here, they don't attend the rituals because it is a long process and it's all Sanskrit mantra, they don't understand. So they play outside in the parking lot, and only when the bell ringing for the Aarti, that time they will come, because the next item is interesting, prasad distribution. That is the only thing they are interested. So why? Because they don't understand, it's not their mistake. So it is, Chinmaya Mission has taken up that particular task to explain these details. What exactly is the ritual? Why we are doing this? What are the meaning of it? Etc. All our customs, they have deeper meaning. Those things we have to teach them. And slowly, of course, people slowly come to realize the need of it now. I think we will have Gurudev started his Sankalpa, the work, it will definitely flourish. There's no doubt about it.
So the youth empowerment program, Swamiji, the aim is, of course, to instill this into the participants. One other aim, Swamiji, is to create leaders for our mission for the future. Especially those, what greater way than coming through the ranks of Bal Vihar, being a chick member, teaching Bal Vihar perhaps, youth empowerment program, all of these build that love for Gurudev and understanding clarity of the vision. What would Swamiji say is something important to hold on to now that we're second generation leaders within the mission, where in some mission centers we're seeing board members even who are former Bal Vihar students or youth empowerment program graduates? That's starting to happen now. What is it we have to be wary of and hold really close to our hearts and minds to understand as leaders are made from this next generation?
So that we have to include also in our teaching the structure of the mission and make them take up responsibilities and see that not everybody has the leadership qualities. So some of them may have, it is a born thing, something that is born with them. So those leadership tendencies, if they have, we have to encourage them and then give them tools also to develop it. That is our duty. Slowly we have to take the lead, and then also understand the mission structure and make them understand and inspire them that the work of Gurudev that he has envisioned is the most noblest task, and that their part of it is making them one of the hands and legs of Gurudev. He himself is going to guide them, and he himself will lead them to the higher states.
And I'll make it light a little bit now, Swamiji. I've gotten too heavy with my questions. One of my favorite names of Puja Gurudev, Vinoda Priyaya Namaha, the one who loves good humor. In Swamiji's vast experience with Puja Gurudev, what are one of those most humorous moments Swamiji has experienced?
There was no time with a dull moment with Gurudev. It was always humorous. I remember once in Baroda, we had a yajna, and Gurudev completed the text one day before. So there was one more day. So he asked everybody to write questions. And he also told them that the questions will be written clearly with the address, so that the person who asked the question should be there present, then only he can answer. The next day we collected some 300 questions, and from the platform, 1.5 hours, he could not answer all 300. I think he must have completed 80 or 85 questions. And the rest of it, he said, I will take it with me. And if you have given the address properly, I will reply to your question by mail. So then the whole thing came to me. I carried with me the questions. So every day, next stop, next yajna was some other place. So early morning, our time was from 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. So 2 hours Gurudev dictates, means he answers the letters. After answering that day's quota, then he take up these questions one by one. Every day 10 questions or 15 questions like that he used to answer. Though one letter, when he opened, it was written in Gujarati. The Gurudev cannot read Gujarati. So immediately he told me to write a reply in Malayalam. He dictated to me in Malayalam, he dictated to me that I got your letter, thank you very much. Since I cannot read Gujarati, I am writing this in Malayalam. Thank you very much. So he asked me to write in Malayalam, and then he wrote the address and posted it. He said, let him find out somebody to read it for him. That was, I thought it was a humorous thing. So spontaneous. There was not even a hesitation.
So when Swamiji and Puja Gurudev would have discussions, it would be in Malayalam most of the time? That's what you would speak in? Okay. And because there's only been one video of him speaking in Malayalam we have access to. I haven't seen anything else besides that. So would he ever speak in any regional languages for question answers or just off the cuff?
Yeah, he knew Hindi also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Malayalam, when he goes to Kerala, those places, sometime in between, he tell a story or an anecdote in Malayalam. That's all. But the rest of it is all in English only.
Now, Swamiji, when it comes to someone who may be on the fence of joining the EP course, saying that, look, it's a whole summer-long commitment. There are internships. There are so many other enticing things to do. We have a big buffet for us for summer plans. What would Swamiji say to that person that's interested, but that conviction of I have to do this summer may not be there? What would Swamiji's advice be for that individual?
See, those internship and other things will give you remuneration or credit. But this is a lifeline. Yep is a lifeline. It is a teaching how to live life. So this teaching is very important in their life. Even if you make money, or let us say you are successful in your career, but how to live with life, live with people, if these things are not known to us, that money has no value for them. Money itself become a danger to them. So this we should know that they have to get it. We can only tell what we can do.
When it comes to facilitating growth for Chik Swamiji, Puja Swami Swarupananji has maintained several times that yes, camps, retreats, these are great to do, but the real growth comes in that weekly study session, study group satsangs that they take part in. Now, whenever there's a camp or retreat for chicks, that elation that's there is unbeatable. We feel really good for the few weeks following that. But when it comes to the weekly slog of study groups, seeing the same old faces every single week, week in, week out, inspiration dips, Swamiji. How do we still maintain that inspiration?
I think we have to start dealing with youth problems. And youth is not interested in classroom studies much. They have to have activities. That's why you see in the camps and all, they are interested because there are some activities there. But when it comes to a one weekly class, it is only a discussion. So that is why they are not inspired. So we have to take the class outside. I remember when I was in Hong Kong, all the youth there used to take me to a restaurant. And then they would order some Chinese food, and then we'll have satsang. So the atmosphere has to change. So things like that we have to invent. How to make it interesting for them, what they like to do. We have to go with them. Our Gurudev used to say that when a child is playing in the ground with other kids, and their mother knows that the child is hungry, but she has to feed them and feed the child. She will call, "Beta, aa jao, khana tayar hai." 2-3 times she call, he won't come. Then what the mother does, she take the food and go to the playground and feed him there. The same way, we have to take the food, the Vedanta, to their playground and then feed them there. So what they want to do, we have to check with them what is that they would like to do. And then there we have to go and mingle with them and teach them Vedanta.
Now, Swamiji, for many of our Chik members who graduate from university or going to the corporate world or research, whatever they do vocationally, there's often this struggle of how am I using Vedanta in my life? I go to Chik class, study groups, I'm imbibing the knowledge, Gurudev's vision is really something that's making sense and I love. But at the end of the day, my occupation seems something that's so divorced from what this knowledge is. I want to apply it, but the frustration is, what does that even mean? What does it mean, Swamiji, to apply that?
That is where they had to learn Mahabharata actually. Where dharma is to be compromised, not to be compromised, all those techniques are all demonstrated there. Those values are given hands and legs and given compromising situations and how to compromise, where to compromise, these things we should know. That is the education they should know. It's called maturity. Dharma Shastra is very, what you call, flexible. And that flexibility they should know. They are not strict. If it is very strict, then what happened? It cannot bend. If it bend, it breaks. So that is what happened to all other religions. When they become rigid in their system, then it broke, and that is why so many divisions are there. So Hinduism is not like that. We were able to adjust according to the need of the society. So these things the children should know. Then only they will be able to apply that, whatever they learned in the working place. The working place also, what is necessary is certain honesty. So what is that very important part of a person is his character. So the character is something that is lasting. So compromise, according to the situation, you compromise, then what happened? Then they will lose the credibility, the integrity. Every company or a corporation wants that credibility and integrity. And those things are created by individual by following certain values. And these values, when they follow, there should not be any compromise. And this, one should not have the fear of losing job, fear of firing and all that. Those things, if we entertain, then we will not be able to maintain the value system. So this, they should know it, and they know, they should be convinced about it. And that conviction has to come. It is not according to the situation we compromise, and then we do an immoral activity, and then afterwards, whole lifetime regret. Those things should not be there.
Then Swamiji, Swamiji has mentioned that rigidity leads to the death of a religion, effectively. We're looking at this next generation of chicks who's having children of their own. When we see what the previous generation, going back many generations, has done, samskaras like namakarna, annaprashna, aksharabhyasa, all of these things. If we lose these samskaras and say, okay, that doesn't really make valid sense to us, or we don't feel a connection with it, and we let go of these kinds of samskaras, is that a permissible way of getting away from the rigidity, or is that effectively killing our religion here?
Those samskaras have certain meaning. And also, every religion has got this type of samskara. It is not only Hinduism, every religion. If they go to Christianity, they also have baptism and all that. Those things are all there. So too in Muslim Islam also. So these the samskara karmas definitely should be done at the appropriate time. So that will create, there are steps of growth, you see. So those steps they have to follow, and they should not think that it is not necessary. But whether they like it or not, they should be able to do it because it is our tradition and it has some the importance, religious and philosophical significance also. And those things are to be taught to them. And in our Upanishad Granga, there are two series or two episodes are there, detailed about the samskaras, and there everything is given. So then people should start watching that or explain to them. And most of it is because of ignorance. So they don't know the significance. So they think that it is not necessary, it is a burden. But once they know the significance, I think they will definitely do it.
The influence of the Guru can never be magnified enough, Swamiji. And when Swamiji speaks of his own Guru, Puja Gurudev, the love, devotion, all of that is so apparent. This next generation now of chicks becoming adults, going to their 40s now, have never met Gurudev. And that's true for the next subsequent generations forever from now on. At most for us, Gurudev is in a book, in a photo, in a video. The vision, love for that vision is there, but Gurudev the man we only know through there. How do we forge that connection to be stronger, given the limitation that we will never meet him?
See, it is the growing up here in this country. The educational system is like that. There is no Guru Shishya Sampradaya, you see. The teacher also a paid servant. That is how the students look at it. That the value for knowledge is only that much. So this is the whole cultural difference is there, see. That is why from childhood onwards, we have to give that value. Who is a guru and what is his role in life, etc. We have to keep on giving them that culture. When I was in China, I asked one of the professors there, how do you create the affinity for your country, patriotism for the country? Because Chinese are very patriotic people. How did you manage to give this patriotism? So I was surprised to see that. So the professor told me that from the kindergarten onwards, up to 12th grade, they teach Chinese history. Every year, same thing. So it is so injected in their system, they cannot forget. So that is not our education system. So that is why we don't have that patriotism, you see. So these are the things we have to learn from other systems also to adopt it.
Now that we're near the end of the interview, Swamiji, one regret that I don't want to have is not asking intelligent questions and not eliciting the right answers based on intelligent questions. So at this time, if there's anything Swamiji would like to share with us for our benefit, either about Yep, about Gurudev, vision moving forward, anything Swamiji feels we should know, please, Swamiji, let us know.
See, the Vedanta, the vision of Vedanta is you are that Paramatma, Satchidananda Saruvatma. And every thought that is rising in our mind, the Lord is present. And without His presence, nothing is possible. Thinking, acting, doing anything, speaking or listening, nothing is possible without His presence. If that is the case, what is our goal in life? It should be only one thing, to know Him and being Him. This should be our goal. And once that happens, even the quantum theory also come to that point now. What we were talking about Maya, they have now started accepting it. The world is unreal, apparent. This fact, our rishis have said many millions of years ago in our Vedas, that now they are coming to the point. And once we appreciate this, then what happened? The life become one of total freedom and joy. And that freedom and joy is our birthright. We have to own it. One life is given to us, at least we have to start walking that path. We don't know if we will be able to reach this life, doesn't matter. For Hindus, we have no problem. We have many lives. So that is not a problem. But let us start walking that path. And with our Guru's grace, we'll definitely reach. He will take us there.
Being able to connect with Puja Gurudev and his vision through his most senior disciples is a blessing. Further than that, having one of those senior disciples in this country relating to us on our terms and the way we discuss is even more of a blessing. So in short, we are incredibly lucky and so blessed to have Puja Swami Shantananji in our lives. And the fact that Puja Swamiji is gracing us with his presence at the YEP course to teach there, we are very grateful and excited to see how this program unfolds under Puja Swamiji's blessings and guidance. And thank you very much, Swamiji, for giving us the time today and for giving us food for thought that we can chew on for years to come. Honestly, in this one little session, so much we can gain from thinking about this and doing the vichara. Thank you very, very much, Swamiji.
So how many children have registered now?
We have a handful of, we're expecting close to 15 to 20 that will be there totally. A good group to start out with.
Okay.
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. So wish you all the best.
Thank you, Swamiji. Nikhil, turning it over to you now.
Thank you, Swamiji, once again. I definitely think this would also encourage a lot of more students who might be interested, who have seen this notification and but are don't know what yet consists of. And this conversation, this is one first in the series that we'll be doing, and this definitely will encourage them. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for taking out the time as well. I would like to open up to the audience if we have a few minutes, Swamiji, for any questions. Is that okay? Yeah. If you all have any questions, you can unmute and ask yourself, or send them in the chat, and I can ask Swamiji on your behalf.
Hey, Swamiji. I had a question. I had several questions, but I'll ask one so that others can also ask if they have. What was traveling with Gurudev like, and what sort of sevas would Swamiji perform?
Traveling with Gurudev is a divine experience, and it is an energy-filled experience. Because I was very young. I was 22 at that time. And I just graduated from university. So I had full of energy. But living with Gurudev is not, just energy is not enough. Because 3:30 he gets up and he expects me also to get up 3:30 and get ready and come to work 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 to 6:30, the time he dictates, about 50 to 60 letters. Then we go for morning class, 6:30 to 7:30, Upanishad class or whatever class he conducts. You attend that. Then we have breakfast. Then after that, I was supposed to type the whole letter. Then after lunch, he take a little rest. Then when he wakes up, he wants all the letters. And he signs them, and then we post them. Then if there is time, he will dictate another 20 letters that he wants in the morning. So then evening we have lectures that we have to attend. Then afterwards he go for Bhiksha, there is satsang. Then after satsang, everything is over. By the time we come back, it will be 10:30, 11. Then I had to sit and type these letters until 12 o'clock, sometime 1 o'clock. Then expect me to get up 3:30. And I don't know from where did I get the energy during those 2-3 years of travel with him. It was he who gave me that energy. I believe that. Have I answered the question?
Anyone else? Hariji, then I think it's a good time to end the thing, perfectly ending at an hour, close to. Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
the
you.
wonderful session, Swamiji, and we look forward to meeting Swamiji at YEP. Thank you, Swamiji.
Sure.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om